me live. There we are. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. I got my friend Brandon with me this time. This is the first time he's even been to my house. So he actually came over to see how I do this and to co-host with me. And not really help me out tonight because there's no help to me. More help than I need to provide. But anyway, welcome, Brandon. So this week I have Shadow of Corvus. We'll get to them here in just a little bit. You can see him on the screen there. But I want to thank Shenandoah Thompson, my buddy, for coming on the 50th episode I had Friday night. I just celebrated a year, and Friday night I just celebrated 50 episodes. So it's right? And you still, well, you're in a new band, right? Called what's it? Drugstore Skinny, which sounds like a metalcore band. It's not. What's Eric? This is drummer, right? And then what's the lead guy's name? I forget. Tyler. He kind of looks like Tom Petty. Somebody say like who? A little, well, yeah, I'd say like cross between. Yeah, really good guy, really good guitarist. And so I heard him play it Mike. Really good stuff. So watch out for them to take the world by storm. Right? No, you guys will the show though, for sure. Hopefully live. We'll try to do that live. But no, I have Shadow Corvus from Pittsburgh. I think they're all in Pittsburgh or in the general area, vicinity.
The surrounding Pittsburgh area, I guess, would be the best way to put it.
It's the best way. Like you go somewhere and you tell, you want to tell them where you're actually from, but they've never actually heard of it. So Pittsburgh.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Welcome to the show, guys. You guys are have helped me go over the hill or over the hump, I guess. You guys were 51, so on to 100.
On to 100, yeah. 50 is a good milestone. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Have you guys on it? I saw Shadow Corvus up in Pittsburgh. Gosh, when was it? 3 weeks ago now, I guess, right?
Damn, it's really that long?
It's been a while, yeah. I was enjoying some of y'all's coffee. I got some coffee at the show, and they played at a coffee house in Pittsburgh, and they had their own coffee blended, and so I bought some of that. I guess I could offer you that, but I didn't. I just offered them water. But yeah, they played with Arcane Haven. I haven't seen them in a fortnight. It seems like.
Someone had to use that word once.
Hey, I'll be that guy. I'll be that person.
I don't know.
And Amavasia, which is all they were on the show. Was it last week?
Yeah, I caught some of that episode myself. I watched a little bit of that. Love those guys. Love Arcane Haven too, but yeah. Amavasia was on the show, so I mentioned it.
We can talk shit about Arcane Haven because I've asked them since I started to be on the show. They still haven't gotten an email yet. They said so. Whatever. I got on Steinmiller about that when we were at the show, so we'll get them on here eventually. I think they're trying to write some stuff, and I like to feature bands' new stuff. I mean, they're old stuff too, but that's what I like to use the show for. Now they're doing new stuff. And speaking of new stuff, you guys have a brand new album. That's the reason I met you.
We do.
Yeah, that was the whole shebang about the show that you caught us at, was that we put out a new record.
You guys were pretty sweaty at the end. Was it really? It wasn't that hot out where I was. Was it really that hot up there? You guys were like drenched in fluids.
I think the way that I described it to Cam after we left the venue that night was like, it's like that one scene in Airplane where I forget his name, but he's like trying to land the plane and just people are shouting at him, and you just consistently like Seymour Sweat just drowning him.
No,
that was me.
It wasn't Cream Bar. It was the other guy, the guy that was in love or something.
Oh yeah, I can't remember who that actor is now that I think about it. But no, my that wasn't really it for me. My issue is for my age and weight, my cardiovascular health is probably not where it should be. So I'm a little out of shape. And it's been what, Brandon, 2 years since we played a show up to that point?
That was 2.5.
2.5. Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead.
My stage conditioning wasn't where it needed to be.
I didn't see you run around too much. You were just kind of in one spot. So that's probably. Yeah. Well, actually, Dan from Arcane Haven, he moved around quite a bit, but they got tired pretty quickly. I don't know if you guys can tell. They were fatigued about three songs in.
Yeah, so my I guess horizontal movement on stage is never all that much. I try to stay in a little pocket up there, but I do a lot of head banging. I'm thrashing around a lot. And it's part of our stage philosophy. I don't mean to kind of take over conversation here, but we're a three-piece band. We don't have a bassist. We don't have a rhythm guitarist. Most of our stuff is on a backing track. So my philosophy up there, at the very least, is I'm the only one who can move. So I need to do something. There needs to be at least one person providing a visual aspect, because a live show involves that. It's no longer on a recording. It's no longer on a CD. You're there in person, so there needs to be a visual element that you're producing as well.
Yeah, the stage presence was fine. I wasn't in the where people bump into each other. I wasn't in that. I'm too old for that. But my girlfriend was partaking in that. But I was on the side. I was picturing and videoing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it was a great vibe. So.
Yeah, thank you.
The nice thing about that show is that there was just a vibe about everyone that was there. The coffee, the baristas were slinging, all the bands that were playing. There was just a vibe there that night
and after the pandemic, people just want to get the crap out of the house and just break something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Anything. People are in for anything. The number of shows that I've seen, even local bands that are selling out entire venues right now, I don't think I've seen it like this in my lifetime. I mean, granted, I'm only 30 years old. The heyday of the 70s arena rock scene, well before my time. But at least from my memory of going to concerts, being interested in live music, I've never seen it like this. People are really hungry for live shows.
Yeah. Before it was like, you said you were getting old, right? You said you're 30 or in your 30s?
I feel like I'm getting old. Everyone will tell me that I'm not getting old. I disagree.
As the youngest member in the band, you're old.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take it.
I'll be 41.
Hey,
so
41?
I will neither confirm or deny that statement.
Oh yeah, that I'm the old one. But no, you were saying you're 41?
I will be 41. And
that's not that old.
It's not, but man, you feel, I can tell you when it's gonna rain, shit starts aching.
Oh yeah, no, I have this funny thing now where I can tell that I haven't had enough water because I feel some achiness in my knees. And everyone I talk to that's my age is like, yeah, I have to drink more water now.
Lower than 23. Okay. Yeah. Silence. Are you aching already? That's a bad sign.
My back's aching, but I'm fat.
Well, nobody cares.
Scott, can you bring your mic up a little bit?
Oh, I guess so. How's that?
That's better.
I'm getting a new mixer. I told you that already. It's in the mail. It's in the FedEx hands.
Well, and this is a fun thing you're getting learned about Brandon. He is our resident sound. He did all the production on our album. He did the mixing on it.
He was yelling at me. We did a Zoom call yesterday.
I was just going to mention that to you. I'm not surprised. He is very particular. He has a very particular set of ears for audio and will not have it any other way. For better or worse, I think it really adds a lot to our live show. Our backing tracks have a lot of nuance to them, but boy, practicing with this guy, oh.
We need I feel like we need a video of it, like for the next album we do a video DVD option. You can buy this DVD also that has all that background stuff.
Oh yeah, there's going to be an entire blooper reel called "The Airing of Grievances," and it's going to be 5 minutes straight of Brandon talking to us about audio issues, either before a show, during practice, in the studio with an album.
Well, it doesn't help that that when we practice, we're usually practicing in the dog days of summer, and it's like 85 freaking degrees.
Oh
He's trying
yeah.
to get this. He's trying to get this figured out, and we're all wearing black clothing and heat stroke inducing garage. And if his guitars weren't so expensive, I think they'd been smashed at one point.
Yeah.
You guys don't practice in the air conditioning?
No, that's rich people stuff.
Well, but I mean, come on. I mean, this weather's been crazy. I think.
What do you think we are on a label? No, we use Alex's parents' garage. It works for our purposes. It's a big enough space. Couldn't ask for much more, I guess, other than AC.
The best, I think the best way it was described was our friend Brian from the band Grey Walker when we did a live stream with him, and the way that he described it when we first got on the air was like located in a cluttered ass garage in the middle of bumfuck Pennsylvania is Shadow of Corvus. Like that's our aesthetic.
Messy ass workbench. There's snowmobiles in the background.
That's metal, right?
Looks like storage wards.
Yeah, I would say rather unintentionally, we've carved out a visual package for ourselves. We know what we are visually. Our shows are a little sloppy. I'm crushing empty beer cans on my head. We practice out of a garage with snowmobiles. It's a little messy. It's a little wild, despite what our production sounds like, which I got to give Brandon credit on our album. He got this thing sounding great.
Yeah, he did.
Well, I don't have to anymore. You don't have to float anything to anybody. You just share it with them.
Yeah.
But some people do want a physical copy. Like I had, I don't know if you guys know Amplifiers. I had them on, a while back. Well, they did a physical copy of their album, and it's actually laying right there. It looks like a DVD case, right, or a game case, because they used to be those cases. Used to be porno DVDs. They were just recycled.
Oh.
They cleaned them up and put their CD in there, and so I was like, I want one. I want a physical. I want that. They were telling me about it on the show, and I got it. I got it a few weeks ago. He sent it out. But I mean, I'll get it in a little bit. But I mean, that's cool. Like, so some people, or a vinyl. Some people want a physical copy of stuff, but anymore you just say, hey, I'll share my iTunes link or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, streaming is where the industry is definitely at in 2021, especially post-pandemic, if you even want to call it that, with the Delta variant and all. But yeah, streaming is where it's at. We've kind of talked about doing some physicals for separation and like the future if like the demand would ever call for it. But I mean, this is the era of streaming. If we were ever going to like press to vinyl or anything, it would probably just be like a copy to like hang on the wall or something. I don't even know if I'd put the audio tracks on it. Just slap our artwork on there and call it a day.
I mean, it is quite a bit of money to do all of that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, whether you're on a label or not, it's still it's a lot of work for one thing. Getting artwork for the actual CD itself, and then doing the pamphlet and all that stuff. That's a lot of money. So I mean,
oh yeah,
cheaper and and it goes farther. I think. I mean, online, right?
Yeah. Now the downside of the streaming is obviously the return on investment is not that great. There's a lot of legislation and been a lot of legal battles over what a fair price is for the market, and a lot of recording labels and the RIAA getting involved. That's a whole other thing. If you care to look all of that up, go for it. But you mentioned vinyl. As a collector of vinyl records, I was just going to mention another difficulty with that in physical media is demand. Right now, there is a massive demand, not even just for vinyl records, for CDs. And there aren't really that many plants, especially for vinyl records, for pressing. So you have huge backlogs if you're trying to do a large scale. And I'm talking multiple months for production times. So it's a very big risk right now, but the reward of having that is also very high. They sell for a high price. They're extremely collectible. People love to see it. So yeah, we've been trying to dip our toe into the merchandise thing a bit more. I've usually tried to be an anti-merch guy. think there's too much stuff out there. There's so much choice, and we spend a lot in resources on materials, not to get political here. But we started making shirts, we have EPCDs, so we're trying to get overall, we're trying to push our band a little bit further than just a practice weekend warrior type of thing.
Well, you guys have the scene being in Pittsburgh like that. Around here, I'm south of Morgantown. Morgantown's a decent scene for if you're trying to get started. But being in Pittsburgh, that's technically a big city, right? So you have a little bit more avenues to do whatever you want to. Really, am I right with that, or is that kind of?
Oh no, you're absolutely right, and I noticed the scene is really accommodating regardless of genre. Some of the biggest bands, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Snowdonia, a group of kids, I think they might still be in high school. What would you say they are, Brandon? Like a folk, not really folk punk, but they have like electric violin. There's a lot of great rap groups and rap artists in Pittsburgh. You have a really excellent punk scene with a lot of venues like Ruggers and other bars that are willing to support and host these shows. The Roboto, the hardcore scene in Pittsburgh is fantastic. You have that beltway that's essentially West Virginia, all the way up to Punxsutawney with the 724 hardcore scene that I grew up with. Some of those guys like Embrace the Hostility, Jordan Dukes.
Takeover Soldiers, if we're doing deathcore.
Yeah, Takeover Soldiers. You had bands like Liberty Ave in Clarion. Clarion was another scene. So that entire stretch, that Clarion to Punxsutawney to Pittsburgh to West Virginia, there's a terrific scene for heavy music, and there has been for a while.
Yeah,
Midnight Lights.
Seems like it's moving. I had a buddy lived in Columbus for a while, and it seems like it's moving towards that way too. It's the circle's getting bigger, and the pandemic, but that just gave us a rest, and now it's back, and I think pretty much in full force, isn't it? Isn't it pretty much in full force in Pittsburgh?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Even for like touring artists, like Cam, yesterday you went to go watch Between the Buried and Me, and that I remember seeing like a couple of videos of my friends that went to that, and it was just fucking packed.
Saw your reels on.
Yeah, completely sold out show there. Like I said, the appetite is strong for shows, and between our areas where we live, and you said Ohio, you have great venues out there like West Side Bowl in Youngstown. There's a couple of great bands out there. I'm trying to remember. I think Pillars is an Ohio band. Album is another Ohio band that I know of, and they've started to come and play in the Pittsburgh area. And you have bands from the Pittsburgh area playing in Ohio. Whorehound, I think Gray Walker might have a date or had a date in Ohio. So there's been a lot of crossover, especially in the past few years, and it's really exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think Gray Walker actually did a show down in Morgantown like a week or so ago.
Did I didn't make it to that one. I did make it to one. Was it Saturday? Saturday night? I think so. Yeah, it wasn't Friday night. Saturday night. Curses.
Oh, was that Tell No Tales and
Yes, Curses and Ivory Coast and King of Nothing.
Yeah, Ivory Coast. We played with them before.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it was a really good show. It was smashing. I got some stuff up on Instagram from that show. Hey, I want to play some of your all stuff. Let the viewers kind of hear you guys, what you guys do, what you're about. I have Night queued up. If you want to talk a little bit about that one.
Yeah, totally. Nights was the first song that we actually finished from separation before we even knew what the fuck it was going to be. I think Cam and I, this was before Alex was actually in the band. We wrote that and released it for a show we were playing, and it was like a band showcase at the Rex Theater in the south side of Pittsburgh. We released it that day, and the demo version of it stayed up on streaming for like 3 or 4 years until we put this record out. I can speak from a production standpoint. Nobody ever needs to listen to that version ever again.
No, it's inferior is the nice way to put it.
It's definitely inferior to what we put out when we announced the record. But yeah, this one I definitely took the most inspiration from, I want to say, like Death Album 2, Death Album 3 era Death Clock, and like Clayman era In Flames. There aren't like crazy lead passages on this one, but I'm a big fan of layers, as I'm sure the listeners will quickly catch on to. I'm a big fan of layering as much instrumentation as I can into our music, because I love lead lines. I love hearing like layered acoustic guitar, like layered like orchestral instruments and stuff. In this one, it's just us with an acoustic in the background. So hope you dig.
Awesome. So here's Night by Shadow of Corvus. I remember you guys playing that song actually. Now that I hear it, I remember you guys doing that one.
That was the first song we finished after our EP.
Yeah, that's really good. You had a question when we were on the.
Yeah. So
song.
you guys, you said that you like the instrumentation of layer though, but how would you?
Mhm.
live without the bass or rhythm guitars? How do you pull that off?
It's all in the backing tracks.
How do you pull that off?
Yeah, give us a rig rundown.
wizardry.
Tell us how you do it so we can copy.
It's all wizardry, man. I spent way too much time and way too much money on our live rig, and I don't regret a minute or a single cent of it. But man, it's magic. The TLDR is that it's magic.
Details, man. You're not a magician. There's no secret here, I don't think.
Well, the drummer from Jake from Amabasia, he was saying that he used a little bit of there's a little bit extra to the drums than you know about at a live show, especially for them. Is it something like that?
In terms of what's not being played on stage, it is. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I wasn't paying attention to Jake's setup or anything, but I'd imagine Amon Bash is the kind of band that would probably like add triggers on top of like their kick to like give it like a much more like sub low kind of a sound. But
yeah,
He was definitely using triggers when we were playing.
triggers. That's what it was. Yeah, some kind of he was telling me about it.
That's not
Yeah,
slant, but that's just
Is that more often than not that happens live with bands?
it's definitely genre dependent. Like if you were talking about like a deathcore band, then absolutely you would see that. Just for like sample reinforcement on top of like a kick or a snare drum, just to make it cut through, especially for like bands that are like using like extended range guitars or something like that. We do not. We play 6 strings, so though we do play pretty low.
Now, my buddy
Play.
got a 7-string and he's like, "Are you tuned?" I'm like, got my little acoustic. I'm like, dude, I don't have enough strings to be tuned down to where you're at.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't need to be down there. It's not that I don't want to be down there. I would love to, but I play 90s covers.
And now you mentioned tuning, and we were talking about the backing tracks. That's actually one of the interesting benefits of our lineup the way it is right now is if we want to do a cover of a song, Brandon's got a very good ear for music, so he understands music theory as well. So we're kind of able to produce and record backing tracks that are transposed for the tunings that we use. So there aren't significant guitar changes. We don't have to retune. He'll just pick a different guitar off and we'll perform the piece maybe slightly outside of its original tuning or its original key signature. But because it's just a 3-piece, there's not much coordination that needs to go into it. If Alex knows the parts, I don't forget the words, and Brandon's got his hands on what the lead and rhythm. Yeah, if Brandon's got literally everything else and enough free time to track record, mix master, all of the backing tracks, then yeah, we can do it. And we've done, over the performances we've done live, we have about 7 or 8 different covers that we know.
Oh,
Yeah. Like for example, that cover of Bodom's "Are You Dead Yet" that we did at the show, that was just like them just being like, Cam and Alex is being like, Alexi's dead, we got to cover something from Bodom. I'm like, all right, let me see how quickly I could churn out a backing track for this. And I was able to get it down in like 2 or 3 days.
Nice.
And we have others that we have tracks for that we've never used. Like Brandon, I think on maybe it's even your personal YouTube channel, you've done a cover of "Always" by Killswitch Engage.
Nice.
No,
No?
that was not that one. I've
then you gotta do
done.
that one.
That was, you know what? No, that's a sore subject. We're going to move on.
I was trying to tell Brandon here which song. I was probably the only one on the whole venue that didn't know what that song was that everybody was singing to.
Oh, Killswitch Engage is the end of Heartache.
That song.
Yeah, that's like the metalcore anthem.
Well, I'm 41, and I was standing on the side, so I didn't get the whole. No, I don't have any excuses. I don't know. My girlfriend, she was like, "How do you not know that song?" I'm like, I couldn't really tell what was. I mean, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, thank you. I'm trying to think what else we have in our repertoire. We have a couple of Trivium songs. We have a couple of In Flames songs. There's a
Tool.
Death, not a Death Clock. There's a Brendan Small song. He's the creator of Metalocalypse. He has 2 solo albums. We have a song from his solo album that if Brandon wants to get into the story of that show, we'll never play that cover again.
Yeah, we'll never
hear it.
play that
Let's
cover
hear it.
again.
Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
tell the story. That was pre-Alex. So
That was pre-Alex. That was pre us knowing what the fuck we were doing on stage.
were we still Ashes at that point? And we definitely changed our name to Shadow of Corvus by then, right?
We definitely changed our name to Shadow of Corvus by then. I think that was like maybe like the second or third show that we've ever done live. The first one being my college senior guitar recital. I got a full 6-piece band up on stage.
Nice.
Cam on vocals, me on guitar. My friend Luke, he plays drums currently in a band called Haven State, which you should totally check out. They just dropped
they
a
have
new
a new
record.
album out. Yeah, it's great.
I'd like to have
Haven
you-
State's dope. And then it was Jeff Smith, who's just a session bass player. I think he's playing bass for BB King tribute band on a cruise liner. At least he was before COVID. And my best friend Amos from high school was on second guitar, and Michael McKetta from The Bleepy Things, which is another band you should check out, was on keys that night. It was the first time we played any of this stuff live,
Yep.
like ever.
That's awesome.
So
But anyway,
What'd you play?
we did. At this point I got a hold of the Epiphone Thunder Horse you're seeing back there, and I was just like, Cam, we have to cover a Galacticon song, because doing a Death Clock song is not going to make sense as a 2-piece,
yeah.
and it's going to be too hard for me.
So this was what was the name of the place? Is that Meadville?
Monessen City Amphitheater.
Yeah, and it was a battle of the bands in Monessen City Amphitheater. There were other great bands who were still in the area. The Vicks, who ended up winning, fantastic band if you're into. I guess their sound is closer to like the Killers or Kings of Leon. There was Solios, we're great friends with those guys. They're a ska pop punk band, fantastic group. So we get up there and we have Brandon on lead / rhythm guitar, depending on what he feels like, with the backing track, myself, and a MacBook with a hard drive.
Could go
So
wrong.
we have, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we're ripping through our set about as well as we can. Some people seem mostly interested. It's a little difficult to hear us. The backing tracks had to play through 2, what do you think they were, like 10-inch speakers, on a PA system?
They were like 8-inch speakers. There were no stage wedges whatsoever. So in order for me to actually make sure I was playing on time, I had to like stand right next to the PA like the entire show.
And so that leads into our point here. He's far away from his amp. He also has his MacBook. Did you have a rack at this time, or was it just your amp?
It was just my amp.
All right, so the MacBook's sitting on the amp. So is the hard drive that is playing our backing tracks, attached through USB cable. The amp vibrated the USB cable away from the MacBook during this song, and all we had left was Brandon playing guitar and my vocals. It was basically an acoustic performance with an electric guitar.
Unplugged. It was unplugged.
Unplugged, yeah. We finished, 2.5 minutes of this song? We finished the
Stopped
song.
halfway through.
Yeah, it died halfway through. We finished the song and spent the next 5 minutes trying to find the sound guy to figure out what the problem was,
Where was
all
he
the
at?
while never knowing it was a hard drive behind us.
That sucks so bad.
Yeah, it was
God damn.
one of the more embarrassing times of my life. I've never
It
felt
was-
that exposed.
It was probably the worst performance of my life.
Now, how many people in the audience actually knew that something had went wrong, though? I mean,
They found out whenever we stopped playing.
Yeah,
We're just like, I went back up to the mic, where's the sound guy at?
Where was the sound guy? I don't understand. Why was he not joining on the spot? Was he not getting paid well?
Well, I think it was a free event.
It was a
Oh,
free
right.
event.
Yeah, he was in the van.
Or at the funnel cake, they might have had. I think they had some vendors there, so I think he was getting food. But no, that was not the sound guy's fault. I can't put any of that blame on him.
You still gotta find him because you think at that point you gotta blame somebody. Blame him.
Oh yeah, and our first thought is, oh well, it's the PA system. The PA system cut out. So we're looking through all the cables. There isn't much to it, so we're just absolutely baffled. And I think that's when I turned around to look at the amp to try and check your guitar connection. And I see the hard drive lying on the ground far away from the MacBook. And I basically said to Brandon, hey, think I found our problem.
Brandon's
It was
trash can off stage, right?
it was a rough show. But as they say, you gotta fall on your face in order to.
Were you invited back to that place?
I don't think they've done it since then, have they?
They've started doing more shows, especially now post-pandemic, but I don't think they've done any metal shows like in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, I think we need to set one up to redeem ourselves.
We need to start one metal show. Do it.
Yeah.
We can bring back Heavy Metal Manesson. That was actually the first time I played any of this Shadow of Corvus stuff
that's
live.
Right. You played an entire show by yourself.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
that was
we'll go to that here in a second. I want to do another quick song here.
sure.
Why Brandon thinks of a cool story to tell about that. I'm gonna say Path of Red here for the last one, but we'll do Virtues next if that's cool with you guys.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
definitely. Virtues is definitely the August Burns red-ish kind of metalcore, kill switch engage kind of stuff. But I'm sure you'll hear it when you hear the song. But I love lead harmonies, and I love just stacking as much as I can on top of each other. So there's triadic harmonies going on, and like the pre-choruses and stuff on top of an August Burns Red breakdown. So hope you dig.
Cool. Well, here's Virtues. I'm a little bit late to get back on the. There I am. Ha!
Welcome back.
Rob just joined it. Rob just joined the party. He just walked in. He doesn't like to be on the camera. He used to be my sound guy. Then I fired him. Now he's cool. He just me and him were working on a song last night, and that's another reason we wanted Brandon to come over. Brandon plays bass. Well, good. We don't really want to hear your guitar anyway. He said he didn't bring his guitar. You can't use mine because I got to use it.
It's like playing the flute string. That's backwards.
Anyway, Brandon, you got your guitar out. You didn't have to do that, sir.
Figured I'd show it off.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
we were
That's
listening
what
to-
this is.
That, and as I was listening to Virtues, I was like trying to remember like all the parts that I don't play that was recorded. I'm like, fuck, what are those? Because I haven't played those in like a year and a half, 2 years. I think I was still living in California when I recorded all the guitars for the record.
At least the demos, right?
I think I was actually recording all of like the guitars, the bass, the acoustics, and I programmed all the drums when I was still living in LA.
Oh, I don't
LA?
think I remember that.
It was like a good month or two that I just hid myself away from the world and just recorded everything I could.
Nice. Is any of it available like on iTunes?
The record?
Yeah, anything you did in LA. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Separation and all the songs that you guys have
Oh, no,
listened
no,
to so
I-
far.
I-
It's
I thought you were talking about like stuff that you personally did. Rob was,
no.
it's Rob's fault.
Blame the sound guys. They're all
Nope.
just a different breed.
Brandon, you look like you're sweating. Are you sweating? Turn your air conditioner. Is he always- just
I
me or-
found out that I didn't know our central AC unit actually broke down over the weekend, so we're waiting on a part to show up. So just dying with a fan above me here.
I used to not have a air conditioner. Well, I mean, I have central air in my house, but like this room, I have to keep the door shut. My cat chews on wires in front of me. He doesn't even like do it like sneaking around. He does it right in front of me, so I have to keep the door shut whenever I'm in here. Well, I have a fan, like just a oscillating fan, but I just recently have a window air conditioner, and it
Okay.
Okay.
it would get pretty ripe in autumn in here. I had a big dude in Byron. This dude, I'm telling you, this guy was like at least 7'2" and all kinds of 4 bills on the show, sitting in here, and I had to keep the door open. And it was still hot. I mean, he was sweating. He was. I mean, Brandon knows him. He's a big dude. He was really good, really cool guy. He sings and stuff. He sang a little bit. Did you watch that? Probably didn't watch it. Nobody watches my stuff ever.
Oh, that's how we
Kinda
feel
going-
about. That's how we feel about trying to sell tickets.
That's honestly how we felt about putting out our debut EP. Like 6 years now.
6 years.
That's you can actually see I'll see if I can pan the camera up, but you can actually see one of the first 100 copies that was printed that we just have mounted up.
Like,
we still have
have
20
those.
left.
We still have I think it's like I think we have like 10 or 15 left now. So it took us 6 years to sell 100 copies.
But Brandon, if you're ready to break some news here, we might not need to worry about those 10.
Maybe doesn't remains to be seen. I still have a lot of mixing and shit to do in regards to that thing.
Okay, we won't say anymore.
Oh, come on.
That thing. I'll put it this way.
Yeah, blue ball knows. You gotta tease us.
Hey, that's
I'll put
that's
it-
good promotion. It's a teaser.
I'll put it
That kind of.
I'll put it this way. Those versions of the EP songs that you heard at our album show, they weren't on the original EP. Wink, wink.
He's winking at me, Brandon. Brandon's winking at me, Brandon.
Yeah, those backing tracks you heard at the show weren't the original ones.
Now there's some how you say, there's some talking on some of this stuff, right? It's not you guys. What is that like? You like some tracks or whatever? Of somebody talking?
Oh,
Are you
are
talking
you
about?
talking about? Yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a spoken word part in the title track separation. That was me. I actually read all of that off, but I did some studio trickery to not really make it sounded like me. That and whenever we tracked all the vocals for this record, we did it in 3 days or 2 days, excuse me. We did it in 2 days at Brad Bernazzi from Arcane Haven Studio. By the time that we got done by the second day and I was just reading off that spoken word part, I was just like, my voice was shot. So I didn't have to do a lot of post work to it, but I did some. It kind of worked out beautifully.
Brad has quite the. I've never seen his studio or his setup or anything, but he's always posting about it, and a lot of like Ivory Coast did their recording there. I know. And now you guys have done some stuff there. I mean, he must have quite an outfit.
Yeah, he had a much nicer vocal booth than I could have had. I just run my operation out of just an office here. He had a lot more invested in a vocal booth than I did, so it just made sense for us to go do that.
Yeah, Brandon, I think our vocal booth at your place is just off screen.
Yeah.
It's not much.
Put it out a window.
Brad's outfit far exceeds our ability, so we went with him. He's a trusted friend of ours. Hearing his band stuff, you're getting a quality production. He was pretty hands off with ours. In fact, I think entirely hands off. We just rented the space from him. So all of the production, the mastering, the mixing was done by Brandon. I guess you could say I had a production role in that I would just tell Brandon what sounds good and what sounds like shit. Yeah,
I will say, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a very fun dynamic with our band. And Alex actually helped us a lot with the writing of the drum parts. There are some things where we would do it in practice and he would add a fill here or some rolls or an interesting reconceptualization of what we did on the album that he would record for us on his GoPro, and Brandon would translate that into our written drum parts. So everybody had a hand in writing this album. I think the next go around is going to be more involved. We've had some discussion. I think you saw at the show, Alex has some pipes, so we're probably going to put him on some vocals. But yeah, it's a very at-home, internalized production. We do everything ourselves. That's been our goal since the start, and I think it really works for us.
Alex, I'm sorry, Brandon. Alex, I do got to say your snare. I don't know what kind of snare you use, but your snare was on, and like I play a little. I dabble on the drums also. I have a set. It's in the other room, but I got a new head a year ago, so it's still fairly new. I don't play on it that much, and that tightened it up some, but it's still not. I mean, that's whatever you got going on that snare is fantastic. I mean, the whole drum, everything you do is good on there, but I can't do the double bass stuff at all. But the snare drum was just on point. I mean, it was.
Yeah, that I'm a huge Mike Portnoy, Travis Barker fan, and they both have theirs. Tight as the thing will go, and the snare I use is actually rest in peace Joey Jordison signature snare.
Nice.
And I'd seen some stuff online before buying it, and I looked at it and I'm like, I really want that it's like 6.5 inches. I want that big, thick sounding snare drum. Got it. Those heads are probably about to burst, and there's a couple snares missing from the snare wire, but it sounds exactly how I want it to sound, and I'm probably not going to change anything until anything breaks.
Yeah, it was definitely on point. I mean, the acoustics at Black Forge are great. That's the first time I'd ever been to that place. But I don't know if it was like it sounded that good on stage, but the way, I mean, everybody sounded good. But I mean, even with your set being as loud as it is, I can tell it's a loud set. But it wasn't overpowering. It didn't overpower you, Brandon or Cam on the boat. It didn't overpower anything. It was mixed very well. I don't know who mixes there. If you guys know, you can drop the name. But everything sounded phenomenal. That place, and the acoustics were just spot on for that small of a place, but it sounded like a big place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to really give Matt, who's the general manager and the sound guy at Black Forge too. I have to really give him a lot of credit. He does sound for a lot of different venues across Pittsburgh, but he usually hangs around Black Forge and Jurgles. But he's done sound for bands like Warrant. I remember the Scorpions came through and he did sound from it at one point. He's done sound for some pretty big bands. So I don't know if he's watching, but thank you so much, Matt. It was honestly a pleasure working with you.
I gotta thank Matt because I mean it sounded good to the audience. You know, like knowing what things should sound like. I guess it was. I didn't hear anything wrong with it, really. I mean, sometimes that
meticulous, annoying part of me being like, yeah, well, that's not right, and that's not right. I do it because I want the good results. And Matt is another kind of one of those kind of people that really pays attention to the details. So I couldn't have been happier that he was doing sound for us that night. That's
Yes.
great to hear that it sounded as good out there as it did in our ears.
Yeah, it did. It sounded really good. And like I said, Alex, I mean, that snare, you got to take a picture of it or something and send it to me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
he beats the shit out of his drums. I mean, like when we're at practice, I don't have to like mic his kid or anything. We'll hear him through our ears and we'll just be like, hell yeah.
I thought Hall really beat the crap out of it because I mean he's like a weightlifter or some shit. I don't know what he does. Arnold Hall barking, but but I mean he was beating the I guess the wing nut off of his on their set.
Oh yeah, I did see that happen. That's right.
Alex was doing all kinds of shit, and his drums were just like cemented into the floor.
For a pop punk drummer, he knows how to hit his kit. That's for sure.
You have another band. I actually just saw on Instagram about an hour before we came on. Midnight Lights, right?
Yep.
Cool. The guy stays busy.
I have to look you guys up on. Are you guys on the? You have anything out?
No, we that band has actually been around for 6 years. That was actually how I met John and Brandon. We played a show together, and we kind of went through a couple lineup changes, kind of changed our name, changed our sound, and we're working on some stuff. We're gonna hit very tight studios down just outside of Pittsburgh there in about mid-October. Right now we're kind of staying busy. Pop punk party cover band,
Nice.
all the Blink-182, all the Sum 41s, and
I had a excuse me. I had a the very first time when I switched from Facebook over to YouTube, I had a really good band out of New York. They're called Atticus Finch, and it's really good guys. There was no audio for the music. I mean, like I could for speaking everything was fine there, but I was jamming out at the beginning. I was playing something really good. You could see me on there, and then I played one of their songs for them, and they couldn't hear anything. It was just them talking. Like when I went back to watch it, I'm like, it's time for everything, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, very good. But I got a guy coming on Wednesday. I believe his name's Nathan. But he goes by 3 Crow Retirement Home. You guys know this guy?
Say the name one more time.
3 Crow Retirement Home.
Never heard of him.
I found him on Instagram. Instagram's new to me also. I'm very late to Instagram, I guess. I was always a Facebook person. I'm barely on Facebook.
Okay.
But so that's where I found a lot of my guests. But anyway, I'll play a little bit of his stuff at the end of the show.
Okay.
So pop punk, yeah. I mean, like genres, like I guess the majority of my shows are metal, like metalcore bands, and my parents don't watch a lot of my shows. Well, they do, but they turn it off when the music comes on because they just don't like, they don't understand the whole streaming part. You know, my dad always says, you know, if you need a lozenge or, you know. But you know, it turns out. I mean, that's what I listen to majority of. So, you know, I guess that's why I have a lot of these fans on. I know.
Yeah, I know I get the sore throat comment from a lot of my family members. I think my band is my wife's least favorite band, but she's happy to support us, so it balances out. She's happy that I have something to do. She's happy that I have good friends to be in a band, but she'll never be shy about telling you she doesn't like the way our music sounds, which is fine. It's really, you know, it's not for everyone. You know, there's a genre for everyone, though, and I was going to circle back and just say that I know personally I've gotten to hear a little bit of what Midnight Lights is cooking up, and I'm very excited for everyone who has the pleasure of hearing that when it comes out. It's really good. Alex and his guys have great musical minds. They're very talented, and I think some people are going to be impressed and surprised when they drop this stuff when it happens.
But you guys are welcome to
100%.
show whenever you guys are ready to drop some stuff.
Oh hell yeah, we'll come back. I'll bring them on. I don't know. I mean, I might. Ryan might be listening. That guy knows. That guy does everything in music.
If Ryan's listening, I'm sorry I didn't hang out with you at the Between the Buried and Me show yesterday. I had luxury box seats. I was too tired from driving.
You're in the balcony.
Yeah, I was up in the balcony living the high life. So sorry, Ryan.
The golfer of the band,
Yeah,
staying away from the pit.
Great video point of view too. I mean, I was watching some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great show. But yeah. So anything you guys want to know about the album? Because I don't know how much you were able to pick out of the lyrics. There's a whole lot going on there.
I don't when I listen to any album. I mean, it could be Tool. Well, Perfect Circle is my favorite band, but it could be Tool. It could be anybody.
Oh, good choice.
I mean, it could be anybody. I don't go for lyrics first when I listen. I listen for musicianship and instrumentation. What's going on? You know, what's the drummer doing? You know, why is he playing this tempo? But it fits. And like Maynard's, it's hard to pick that shit out anyway. I mean, can you imagine being in the studio with Maynard? My goodness.
I'm not sure I have enough free time to imagine what it'd be like to be in a studio with Maynard. That man has a lot of thoughts. I'll say that. But no, I guess I just have a different perspective on it. Being a vocalist, being somebody who was in choir in college, I had my choir professor, Dr. Hank Alviani, from Clarion, and one of the things he would always say to us is the text is the most important piece of a composition. And I've always felt that way. If you're not doing something to accent the text of the music, the lyrics, if you will, if you're not accompanying the lyrics, if you're not accenting them or elevating them with what you're doing with your music, then it's a bit of a missed mark. So we definitely tried to do that with this album. It's a concept album. And I don't mean to hijack this, but I thought this would be some good info for everyone to have if they're watching the show. Is we did a bit of a loose concept album on the themes of light and dark. So the idea is the separation between good and evil, light and dark. It's not a very complicated concept, but you have like basically the idea is a civilization ruins itself by trying to attain everlasting life. That's where the flood of pestilence is. This flood awakens a group of satanic undead soldiers called the Legend, which is where those pieces come from. And most of the other songs like Night, Virtues are all about either escaping or trying to fight back against the mistakes you've made. So the subtext of all of this is the idea that deciding where you stand in life and dealing with the consequences of your actions, either fighting back against them or just accepting the changes as a result of your actions is kind of what I was trying to go with. But also I just wanted to write some cool ass metal lyrics. So a lot of it doesn't make sense if you really look at it. Like any good metal band, if you look too hard, you're gonna say, "Wow, this is stupid." But if I had to,
I have a particular line in line for that statement.
yeah. So if you wanted an artist defense, that's what I have for you. But the reality is, I just wanted to write some dope ass shit.
And I feel like that's why Cam and I work so well together, and Alex as well. We work so well together because Cameron's very focused on telling a story and actually making conceptual sense with the lyrics and the performance that he delivers. Whereas I'm like you, Scott. Whenever I listen to a record, the composition, the arrangements, the textural layers of the production, as well as the musicianship, is the first thing that catches my attention. If there's a melody line or there's a certain part that's going to catch my attention, that's where I'll go to first. Lyrics are also important, but that's not where my mind usually goes for at first.
Yeah, that's I've just always been like that. I don't know why. I mean, it's and then if I like a particular song, I'll go back and be like, okay, now what was he talking about? And hopefully the lyrics are available so I can see, not especially with this genre of music, you can't tell what the person's saying. I can't.
Right.
Some people can. I can't. I have to. It's like
That's actually something that Cameron really takes a lot of pride in, is his diction whenever he performs, not only just on recording, but in a live setting too, making sure that people understand the words that are being spoken to this music is pivotal for him. And that's something that I've always really appreciated about him as a vocalist, is that his diction is always on point.
Yeah, the way I see it in life is, I guess just with the way I see it with metal, my big gripe with the genre as a whole is you can really get away with a lot because people don't understand what they're hearing. Mastodon, one of my favorite bands.
oh, yeah.
That first album of theirs, Remission, a lot of those songs are gibberish lyrically, but you would never know because the riffs are amazing. So that's the part they have you focus on. But definitely context of vocals, a narrative, and obviously they fixed that problem with Crack the Sky, one of the greatest albums ever written, in my opinion. But you have so many bands through the genre, black metal, prog, gent, hardcore, that get away with writing nonsense.
Oh, thrash.
Because you can. Thrash is especially bad with it. I know early In Flames lyrics were even just written in broken English.
I'm pretty sure there was a track on Bodom's Follow the Reaper that they wrote the lyrics to it that day. They were tracking lyrics,
That sounds about right. That checks out.
That was Alexi's drunken state,
Yeah, so
God,
that's something we as artists with our band, I guess that would be our angle, is what we're trying to do differently, is we're trying to take a genre that's dated, this mellow death, early metalcore sound. Nobody's really playing this music now. That's a genre where you had At the Gates, Machine Head, back in the 90s and the early 2000s. We're trying to take it and put a different spin on it. Maybe not necessarily instrumentally. We're not doing anything unique there, but I think adding a more sensible production, not making something that's overly clean, having a cohesive, coherent sound and voice to our music. And that's our approach through our album and just with us as artists in general.
Well, hey,
Absolutely.
I had another song loaded up here. I definitely want to play.
Sure.
It's Path of Bread. These are songs that I think Brandon picked for you guys. So if there's something else you wanted to listen to instead, I can load it up.
No, definitely Path of Bread. So do I. I'll definitely say, out of the entire record, this is one of my favorites. This was, I believe, one of I think this was maybe the second or third song we finished, Cam.
Yes. So we have what we call a riff graveyard, which is just a collection of riffs that we write that never really get made into anything. And from there, that's how we built our album. We would string things together, say, all right, well, we have these two riffs. In the middle, there needs to be a chorus. So we need to write something that sounds full. This was early on in the Riff Graveyard. It had several different revisions. The melodic structure was completely different at one point. I think it was just a simple arpeggiated scale. And then we built it up from there. And honestly, hearing it now that it's released, I think it's one of the biggest indicators of what our ideas and at least our initial discussion about like what our next direction is going to be. So at least in my opinion, this is what the future of the band is going to sound more like between the EP and now. It's a bit more progressive. You can hear there's not a repeated element in this song. And we just have a lot of fun writing it. We have even more fun playing it. It really, really is a fun song.
Whenever we play live shows, this is, I always tell the dudes, this is the one that I look forward to the most. This is by far one of my favorites from the record. It's so much fun to just play live. And every time that people hear it, people are just like, man, the way that you layered those leads at the end are just, it's cake.
Well, and Alex, as a Rush fan, this really scratches that itch for progressive music in the way we wrote it. So,
but he still couldn't get away from the blast beats, though.
You didn't let me get away from the blast beats.
I mean, when we did our album show, I'm just like, I hope you're toasty because the first song's 200 BPM and you're starting with blast beats. So be ready for that.
Let's take a listen to Path of Ridge.
All right.
Do it.
All right.
A chance to rest our weary
That was creative. Will you be the video production guy for my show?
Oh yeah, no, I can see what I can do. It's just that the song's so fire, it burnt my apartment. So
Oh no.
I'm just here saying this is fine.
Everything's fine.
This is fine. Yeah, just like the meme. All right, let me get rid of this goofy thing.
Oh, you're good. It looks fine.
Oh no, it got worse.
Oh,
that one might be a little too real.
watch out behind you.
Oh wait, no, it's that one. There we go. Spock. All right, I'm done. I promise. There.
Oh, hey, I found the did I show? I didn't show you. That's the did I show that already? I showed that already.
Wait, did you? Oh, is this the case you were talking about?
Yeah, I should do that. Yeah. All right. Anyway, hey, I got I think we're out of time. You guys are welcome back anytime you want to, though. I mean, come back, please, come back. No.
Yeah, no, we had a good time. Maybe we'll have to come back when we have things to talk about that people want to hear instead of me just hijacking the show. I like to talk too much, guys. I'm sorry.
I like that because I mean I will have some people on here that they're fine when I meet them before we go live, and then they don't say hardly anything when we're streaming. I'm like fishing for something to talk about, you know?
Oh yeah, they clam up. They either clam up or they think that because you're hosting the show,
I got it.
You have everything written down. I mean, we're not talking about Letterman here. So
I don't have prompts. I have nothing.
No, I'm sure there's no one in front of you holding up a cue card right now. You don't have a producer. You do have a sound guy though. Oh, he seems to be absent.
It's just me. It's usually just me.
Yeah.
Brandon's just here with me tonight, but yeah, it's usually just me. When I did my 1 year show a few weeks ago, I did print out something for myself so I would keep the schedule because it did last a good 2 hours trying to get to everything.
Okay, that's a decently long show.
Previous
yeah.
I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So I do have every once in a while I will have a list where I'll just make notes on my phone as I go, you know, and just make sure I don't forget anything.
Sure, but it's a give and take. Some people they just don't want to do the give part. It's pulling teeth.
It's brutal sometimes. It's just
yeah.
Those are the nights where I welcome my friend from Nashville to come in and do his segment, or his girlfriend to come in and do hers. But unfortunately, she got COVID.
Sorry to hear that.
They both had the vaccine and she got it. So, but she's a teacher. She's a school teacher. So you know. You don't know what's floating around in those classrooms.
Yeah,
it's a lot more serious.
It's a high susceptibility area. There's a lot of kids, a lot of people involved in that equation. So it's very possible.
It's a big city, you know, Nashville and all. So.
Oh yeah.
This thing.
Oh yeah.
Been on this thing recently where I changed the marquee on the last song from the you guys to the next person. Well, 3 Crow Retirement Home is a lot to put individually on letter, you know. I have Brandon go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Because the song I'm going to play of his is only a minute and a half long, so that's crunch time. No, I got that marquee thing at Target last Christmas. Me and the girl were out there, you know, getting gifts and things. I was like, I'm getting this for myself for the show. She goes, what are you gonna do with that? I was like, what am I not gonna do with that?
Oh, you can do everything.
Now it's a thing, and I'm even if it's not, I'm making it a thing. Yeah, this will have to go. That'll have to.
No, I think every good show has a gimmick.
Well, I mean, and this is my gimmick. But let's if you guys have some time, if you got to go, that's cool. But at least whenever you have some time, stick around here a little bit after I kill the live stream. I might send you a sticker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
I'm all for it.
The show. I don't know. I can't remember. I had some on me at the show, but I was gonna play a little bit of 3 Crow Retirement Home. He's gonna be on late Wednesday. It's gonna be a late show. I don't know if you make it. It's gonna be 11 o'clock.
Ooh, that is late.
He works nights, so you know. But and I'm a night owl, so
Swim time, baby.
But
oh yeah.
You know, but everything, all the shows are, they're uploaded as soon as we're done, and you can watch them anytime you want. I gotta say, I hate to be that guy. Hit the subscribe button or hit the like. I hate saying that, but it does it. It helps with analytics and it helps me.
Just hit the damn button, guys.
Yeah, it helps me make less money than I'm making now anyway. So you know.
There's a button somewhere. Push it, my God.
The nearest button in your realm, press it, please.
And go check out Shadow of Corvus on all the platforms, right? You guys
Every platform.
Plug your stuff.
Yeah, we're everywhere. I mean, not everywhere all the time. I'm not trying to rip off Bo Burnham here, but we are also going to be at the Funhouse at Mr. Small's, opening up for our friends in Desolence on Friday, August 27th. That's a 7 p.m. show. We're going to be opening up the stage. The dudes in Desolence were actually cool enough to swing by our album show, so it just made sense for us to support them, you know?
Yeah, so we have stuff. We have shows, we have merch, we have announcements in the future. Maybe we'll see. Alex has Midnight Lights. They're playing in the Indiana, Altoona area all the time.
We'll have to get down here, down Pittsburgh.
I look forward to what you guys are great. It seems like you guys are all into something. You're doing something. Didn't you go to Northern California to get married? Did I see, or was that just you were just there with your woman?
That was a wedding that my wife was in.
Oh,
I got married back in January, right in the middle of COVID. That's a whole nother story that I definitely don't have time to get into. But yeah, just on a vacation trip.
I always do update shows, so I'll hit you up and you can do an update show with me. You can tell a story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look forward to it.
Random conversation.
Yeah. I'm sure Scott will drop all our links in the description, but check us out on all socials. And if you want merch and just check out our shit, shadowofcorvus.com.
Yes, do that.
Stab that button.
Yeah.
There's something here. I'll do the YouTuber thing. There's a button somewhere. Just do it.
There's a button. They're gonna want a notification to know that I'm on another show. So
Acute Mania Live. Ring that bell. Hit subscribe. Hit like. Follow him up.
I don't.
It costs you nothing but mental capacity, and it's not even that much to ask. Just do it.
I don't think I said it at the beginning, but the band I played at the beginning was Confessions of a Traitor. They're going to be on the show next Tuesday. They're from London, so that show will be at 3:00 Eastern, since it'll be 8:00 UK time or whatever they call it, European time or something.
5 hours ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be Tuesday. But Wednesday at 11 p.m. late show. The Three Crow Retirement Home. He's almost done with the thing, but I'm going to go ahead and play him. So thank you guys for coming on the show. I appreciate it. We'll have to get you back on again. I want to hear some more shit. I want to get Midnight Lights on. There's all kinds of stuff to do.
If there's one thing I think everyone got from this, I have endless production tales. So happy to come back on the show and just bullshit about that.
Lots of stories.
Awesome. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thank you.
Marching order, better get in line. Recount your quarters, $1.75. Jimmy cut loose, what else was he to do? Walking around in his two left shoes. Well, I'm a prick and so are you. If you're handing out apologies, I'll take two. So I got that 1979 Russian roulette on my mind. Well, the kids are doing fine, yeah, they're just fine. You got the basement blues, that's cool, well, I do too. Do you remember, what's her name? I haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue, whoa. Haven't got a clue, whoa. Don't look back, you don't know what's underneath. Keep your eyes bright and your pants tight, don't get caught on your two front teeth. It's no secret and I can't keep it that you're not around. You know I don't deserve this, I can't stand the circus and not fucking hate clowns. So I got that 1979 Russian roulette on my mind. Well, the kids are doing fine, yeah, they're just fine. You got the basement blues, that's cool, well, I do too. Do you remember, what's her name? Haven't got a clue. Haven't got